Now we have a couple of kids who have read the stories of the truth and they would like to share their experience with us. I would like to invite Siddharth first to share a few words about stories of the truth.
Gotta shake off the nerves first. Hello. For those who do not know me, my name is Siddharth. I'm here today to speak of a book that's been on all of our minds as of late, and that's Stories of the Truth, written by Mr. Jeyamohan, translated into English by Ms. Priyambada Ramkumar. If you have not read the story, I suggest you, first of all, go check out some of the books we have here. But second of all, I really advise you to read it because it is a true, in my opinion, a masterwork of writing. And as an aspirant storyteller, and as someone who hopes to one day write his own book, that is not something I take lightly. Before I begin, I feel it would be prescient to acknowledge my cultural bias, because it is often the culture we find ourselves in and that leans us towards or away from bias. Though I am by all appearances Indian, and I was born in America, I was raised in an Indian household, but I speak English as a first language. I can count the number of times I visited India on one hand. The reason why I'm telling you this is because this puts me in the book's target demographic. I am the person who this translation is trying to reach, and I feel that it has reached me, and I would love for it to spread that to you all today. Now, to do that, I have collected three stories from this collection, and extracted from them three morals, lessons, truths, if you will. The first of those truths comes from the first story, or the second story within the book, He Who Will Not Bow. This story, while not perhaps the most complex, it is one of the most complex metaphors. It is quite engaging to read as someone who considers themselves to be a fan of metaphor and someone who loves the extended. Sorry, I'm catching myself. Who loves extended metaphor. The metaphor I would like to expound upon today is the elephant. Within He Who Will Not Bow, the elephant is often represented as power. As A.N.A. Simone himself says, as elephant is power. To speak on that further, I feel that when they're talking about the elephant in the story, they're speaking of the power of bureaucracy, the power of institutions, and the power of the systems that hold us together and sometimes tear us apart. At the beginning of the story, our main character's father is tied beneath an elephant. He is left there by his master, or of sorts, to either die or to escape. He is beneath power. He is beneath the institution. But he escapes. But escaping gives him no relief. Once he escapes into the world, he is left in the shadows. He wanders the streets and becomes a tea boy. He sells tea. It is only when he meets this powerful lawyer, A.N.A. Simone, that he begins to realize that power is not only a tool of oppression, not only the elephant that is stood atop him for so many years. He eventually rises through the ranks of the government and gains a bit of confidence in himself, and even speaking back towards some officials who treat him poorly for his caste. But it's not until the end of the story, when A.N.A. Simone himself comes and speaks with him, that he learns that the elephant can not only be used for oppression, he can also be used for gain. He rides atop the elephant to the Zamandar's office to speak on him. And so, the lesson I have gained from this story, and the lesson I hope you take from this, is that power is not only a tool of oppression. Power can be used for gain or for loss, for hurt or for harm. It is up to the person who wields the power to decide which, and it is that we should consider. The next truth comes from a favorite of mine, the meal towel. This is a short, quick story about a kindness, in my opinion. It is about the two factors of kindness, or the two ideals of kindness that are shown by the characters in the story. We have, on one hand, and the family who is taken in our main character. they treat him with a sort of veneer of kindness, but they do not give him true kindness. They tally his debts, and they even give him a meal tally. That's what the story is named for. A tally of all the meals he has eaten with the family, and use that as sort of debt for him to pay off. It is only when he goes to this restaurant that gives him free food, free meals, without any sort of tally, without any sort of debt, that he learns what true kindness is. It is that kindness that is shown that is perhaps real. We exist in a time where there is not much kindness to be given, but we can always work towards that future. We can always work towards a reality where we can give and receive kindness without the need without the need for boundaries. And it is at the end of the story that our main character even learns this. He reconciles with the family that has given him so much harm. He forgives them in a way. The third and final truth I have learned from this book, Stories of the Truth, is from my absolute favorite story, 100 Armchairs. This story, for a moment I can brag on this story. This collection gave me so much, but this story in particular moved me. It really it made me swerve in my seat a little bit. It made me kind of feel uncomfortable, and that uncomfortability is something that really resonates with me, because as we are often so comfortable in our own little worlds, it can feel jarring to step out of that. 100 Armchairs has no clear moral victory like the previous two stories I've talked about. There is no race to be run. There is no battle to be won. It's simply a story of a family racked by guilt. I do not know if I had been put in the situation that our main character was in, whether I would have been able to come out with a right situation, with a right answer, or even if there is a right answer to begin with. But I know that it is a true masterwork of writing, and I just want to say thank you for writing.